Welcome back to our PCM 25 career mode. In our last episode, we finished our second Grand Tour of this final season of this career mode, and we finished second and third at the Tour de France 2029. And actually, as you can see from the World Tour ranking right here, our team Dacia Sirocco, going into the last two episodes of this series, is the best team in the world. And I would like to keep it that way, but our next race won't be easy. Because, well, it is time for La Vuelta 2029, our last Grand Tour of this season, and our final race of this entire series. And I must confess, I want to win it. For this Vuelta, we're using a fantasy variant made by the Welshman on PCMmod.com, and it starts off just north of Portugal with a hilly time trial. But I specifically chose this one because it has so many medium mountain stages even in week 1. And well, in the second week, the medium mountains turn into big mountains. Like stage 9 with a bunch of climbs, or stage 12 finishing on Sierra Nevada. That is a 29km climb at 6% to high altitude. But those stages are quote-unquote easy compared to what we have in week 3. On stage 18, we've got a brutal mountain stage in France combining Marie Blanc, Aubisque and also Les Ardiden. And while stage 19 looks easier, it's by far the hardest mountain stage in this race with 6,000 altitude meters. Gotta say, I'm scared of that one. Anyway, mountain stages to the side, the final day is a time trial, 23 kilometers, relatively flat. Overall, I think that's gonna be a really fun Vuelta, but who's my competition? Okay, Visma Lease Bike brings no GC riders, so that's a bit odd. And the best climber on UAE Team Emirates is Pablo Torres with 79 mountain. Like, I guess Enric Mas is here for Movistar, and Carlos Rodriguez for Ineos Sky. And it's not like Giulio Pellizzari is that good for Red Bull either, you know? I'm sorry, but did our competition get so scared of Dacia Sirocco that they didn't even bother showing up? Actually, wait a second, scrap that, Remco Evenepoel is here for Soudal Quickstep. So I guess that's our man to beat. In our team, we've got the Vuelta winner of last year, Juan Ayuso, and we don't actually bring Lorenzo Fin because, well, he rode the Giro and the Tour, so he's a bit tired. And like I said before, my goal in this Vuelta with Ayuso is to win the race, so we have to beat Remco. But I reckon it's gonna be pretty tough to do so on stage 1, because this is a hilly time trial, and Remco is the favorite, Juan Ayuso is second favorite though. So I'll simply try to finish as close as possible. Okay, our first rider is on the road, Romeo 80 prologue on the day, so that's pretty good, and he's pretty good at hill too, so I'm feeling pretty confident. It's a short time trial, so yellow bar does not matter. Let's micromanage the red bar. Downhill into the first time check right here, and the first time by Romeo by 6 seconds, so pretty good start. But I want to keep most of my red bar for that final climb to the finish line. There we go, into the second time check on 85 right now with a first time once again, and now I'll go up to 88 on the climb to spend my red bar on the uphill. In the last few bends right now, I gotta go 87, 85, spending my red bar a bit too much, but now I'm doing well, and it's the first time by 16 seconds for Romeo. That said, the final K was a bit technical, so that was scary. Now our GC leader and Spanish champion Juan Ayuso is also on the road with 81 prologue, so looking pretty decent. Ooh, someone beat Romeo at the first time check, so hopefully Juan Ayuso can beat him, yes, and now Remco is coming into that same downhill to the intermediate as well, so can Remco Evenepoel beat Juan Ayuso? Let's take a look. He does not. 4 seconds behind. Now it's time for the second time check on 85 on the climb. Let's up that to 88 once again. Similar strategy to Romeo, and we are first at that second time check. In the last 500 meters now on 85. Don't want to spend my whole red bar yet. Right now I can do to the line. First time for now, but Remco is coming into the final kilometer, but he's kind of looking slow. He's looking really slow. Is Remco losing? I think he is. Yes, he does. Which means we don't just win this time trial, but we won to it with Ayuso and Romeo. So a perfect start to La Vuelta. And quite a decent gap too, especially for a 13k time trial, 21 seconds to Remco, so that's great. On to stage 2 then, and this one is a hilly parkour, and we are the favorites with Pericas and Ayuso, so we have to win this. That said, I might go for Paul Magnier instead. Well, actually, Paul Magnier is not feeling that good with a -1 on the day, so only 76 sprint and pretty shit secondary. So Lukas Kubic instead is looking better with 78 hill stat, 76 sprint and 80 resistance and so forth. So great daily form. I reckon I might go for Kubic instead. Anyway, in the last 34 kilometers of this stage, 2 climbs left and we've got a gap to the breakaway of 3 minutes. So I'm actually a little bit scared of these guys. We've got Asgreen, Mikel and Cavagna, so some solid engines. Alvarez is pacing in the peloton to make sure the breakaway does not win. The last climb is now starting and the gap is down to 2 minutes 30. We've got Benjamin Oval pulling, the first time we see him in our team in a race ever, I think. Gap is down to 2 minutes, so Manier can take over on 90 and try to diminish it even more. Kubish is somewhat struggling in the wheel when it comes to his red bar, so that is not nice, but Ayuso is looking fantastic. About to start the second part of this climb, gap is 1 minute 45, so it's actually bigger than I was hoping for. Romeo can take over on 90 and try to hammer that breakaway down. Paul Mikel is the last rider up the road, but he's parkeggioing on the climb, so we are catching him with Perikas right here, and we've got a gap on the peloton right now, so Kubish can sit in the wheel of Halland Johannessen or just sit up in general, and we will go all out right now with Perikas to the top, and Romeo can try to hang on, but I don't think that's gonna work. We've got Plap in our wheel, Mikel trying to follow over the top and Pellizzari trying to close us, but I'll try to attack all out in the downhill and keep on pushing with Perikas. It's a slight uphill here, so I'll try to attack this breakaway with Ayuso right now, and Perikas can sit up right now, and Romeo's gonna have trouble to follow that as well, but that's fine. I'm going solo now with Ayuso in the last 10k. The peloton is catching Perikas in the third group, and Romeo is right ahead of that, but Ayuso has a solid gap into the last 6k, but no yellow bar, so we gotta survive until the road dips down here soon, which I'm not too confident. 17 seconds and Torres is coming. This is not looking good, but Kubish is not too far behind, so what if I can get in the wheel of someone with Kubish, maybe Perikas' wheel, and try to get ourselves in position worst case scenario? Let's try to do that. Ayuso is still trying to sprint in the last 4 kilometers. I need to get into the wheel of Rodriguez, I think, in the last K for Kubish here, but I'm trying to focus on 2 groups, but Ayuso is getting caught in the last 2.5 kilometers, so that's a real bummer. I need to get to the wheel of Rodriguez now as soon as possible, maybe even the wheel of Axel Laurence right now with 2k to go, because otherwise we will not have a chance to win this. Last K right now, Kubish launches on the right. Can we still win the race? Laurence versus Kubish, and we still take it. Riding into the barriers, Ayuso is losing time. Oi, 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 that's bad, but at least we won, I guess? Well, actually, out of solidarity, Remco Evenepoel also dropped together with Ayuso, so no big problem. Normally in these situations when I need to focus on 2 groups, I kind of bottle it, but today I didn't. It looks like Juan Ayuso is still in the red jersey by 16 seconds now to Max Poole and 19 seconds on Kristen, with Remco Evenepoel on 21 seconds. So yeah, pretty much the same as before. I gotta say, when Ayuso was getting caught, I thought we had lost the stage, but Lukas Kubish was ready, got to the wheel of Laurence and won instead. That was a pretty nice victory. Anyway, next up is stage 3, and this one looks a little bit harder, at least the final climb, so I don't think Kubish can win this one. Our man for this is our GC leader Juan Ayuso or the breakaway. So I think my plan is trying to get Alvarez together with a climber into the breakaway, so maybe Paul Marty right here, but he's not exactly well positioned. Quite a few attacks already going on the right side of the road, and it's some pretty decent riders, so I'm getting scared that I've missed the breakaway already. Come on, Marty, you're so far behind, buddy. There we go, Marty is at the front. The gap's already 1 minute 40 to the front of the race, but I'll try to bridge anyway. But it looks like the peloton is not that happy with Marty bridging to this break, so I think I'll wait on the peloton and try to win today's stage from the peloton instead. And to be honest, Ayuso should be able to do that. Anyway, the final climb is about to begin, and the first segment is quite steep, so let's try to do some damage here, but first we have to get to the front. There we go, Paul Manier to 88, 89, 90, why not? We've got a break up the road by 1 minute 16, so it's a strong group, but I also don't believe they'll survive on a climb of 6 kilometers like this, especially with my team pacing like a madman. Well, actually, in the last K, the gap is still a solid 50 seconds to the front of the race, and it's a downhill to the finish, so I have not caught this breakaway yet. Adria Perikas is going all out attacking in this downhill, trying to bridge towards that breakaway, and the gap is down to 20 seconds, so I do think I'm gonna catch them, crash right there in the breakaway, and we get around that, so that's good. Okay, in this hairpin corner, the breakaway has been caught, and now we need to get into the first position here, 4K to go, so not much time left. We've got Romeo all out attacking as well. And now it's flattening out with 2 kilometers to go, so that's perfect. 1.5, let's almost go with Ayuso, but where is Ayuso? way too far back, so this is not happening. The victory is gonna be for Lascano. I forgot to take him out of the save file again. Anyway, despite bottling the stage win, we do finish 9th on the stage and we actually do lose 6 seconds on the road, so that's a bit sad. And as a consequence, Max Poole is now on 10 seconds in GC, but he can't really climb, so that's not a problem. On to stage 4 then, a basic flat sprint stage with Jordi Meus as the favorite, but we've got Paul Magnier and I want to win. Now, looking at our team, Paul Magnier has a -2 on the day because he actually started this entire Vuelta with tiredness before the race began, so not ideal, but it means that his sprint stat is 76, so I reckon I'll go for Kubish instead with 77 sprint. In the last 3.5 kilometers and it's downhill, so I'll switch to Alvarez early and get out of the way as soon as possible. Sprint with Alvarez, crash at the back of the peloton, but Magnier is ready to launch for Kubish in the wheel. Let's do this. Last K incoming, I will launch right now, maybe a bit early, probably early, but Magnier was running out anyway, so I had no choice. The winner is going to be Rick Pleimers on the right of the road, and we finished 5th, which it's fine. I was kind of hoping for a podium though. Now next up is not a simple sprint stage, it's a Rampa Inhumana on La Camperona, so Perikas is the favorite and Ayuso is 5th favorite, but Ayuso is obviously our leader. So let's jump in and try to win. Ouch, not exactly starting with a fantastic day on Perikas, a -1, so 80 medium mountain, and Ayuso with 81 medium mountain, but we've got some riders going in the breakaway. I don't think I care too much about controlling the break today. And the break that has formed is actually quite significant. 18 riders and Costu is the closest rider in GC on 4 minutes 36 and an actually decent climber, so I can't give this breakaway 20 minutes. So I guess our man Hector Alvarez will be pacing on 65 to 70 for most of the day. Roughly halfway the stage now, and UNOX is actually helping us in the peloton, so we don't have to spend too many riders. The gap is under 4 minutes actually to the breakaway, so completely under control. Wait a second, 20 kilometers to go, and we've got attacks in the peloton by Jan Christen and Tobias Halland Johannessen, so a duo attack by UNOX, so that's a bit odd. Anyway, the break is slowly but surely struggling. The gap is 2 minutes to the peloton, so it's actually pretty much under control for the stage win too. I think the peloton's gonna win this. I am quite shocked by how selective this race has been so far. The peloton is down to 45 riders only and my yellow bars are not exactly looking fantastic, but it's a short climb, so I should be okay. The break is now starting the final climb, 4.7 kilometers, and it's really steep, so Paul Marti can take over in the peloton, and we've got our 4-man train ready with energy gels on Romeo and Perikas. In the last 3k, I'm starting to feel like the break might take it, which I'm kind of okay with, because they're not gonna take the red jersey, but I was hoping for the stage win, you know? Come on, last 1.7 kilometers, 95 on Perikas, try to lead out Ayuso, and I'm gonna try and launch pretty soon. Right now, let's try and launch in this corner. All-out attack and then switch towards Mr. Effort Cursor on 99. Perikas can go 99 as well, but I think Ayuso's basically gone and is catching the riders up front, but not the initial breakaway. I think the break is gonna win the stage by... the gap is nothing. I'm trying to pass them. It's gonna be super close, and Ayuso is passing them. Juan Ayuso is passing them, trying to outsprint Mauri van Zevenand and Joseph Blackmore. Come on, Ayuso! Come on! Sprint, buddy, sprint! I think we've got it. I think we've got it. What a final! And Juan Ayuso wins on La Camperona. Woo! That was a stage win. That said, Adria Perikas is losing time, so Ayuso is clearly our GC leader now. I reckon that's our 3rd stage win in the race, so we're doing pretty fantastic in the span of 5 stages, and we take some time in GC. Now 32 seconds on Max Poole, so this red jersey is sitting more secure by the day. That said, Remco Evenepoel with a disappointing race so far, finishing only 15th on this stage. Already on 2 minutes and 19 seconds in GC, so a pretty massive gap. But okay, time for a flat sprint again. Just like last time, Magnier with a pretty bad day, so Kubish is my sprinter. 6k to go, so Romeo can take over from Marti, and our lead out is nicely on the rails. Come on team, Alvarez is ready now. Meus on the left side right here in the wheel of Red Bull, looking pretty fantastic with the lead out, so I'm kind of scared. Alvarez can go now, Magnier in the wheel with Kubish. Oh, I got blocked there for a second, but Magnier can launch and Kubish can wait until this uphill. We're gonna try and finish on the podium, hopefully, but it's gonna be a podium. Yes, indeed. We've got Jordi Meus winning, but Kubish finishes 3rd. Oh, getting beaten by Matthias Kopecki, who literally left our team last season. That hurts a bit. But hey, Jordi Meus is a better sprinter, so getting 3rd here is a fine result. Ooh, stage 7 at first looks like a GC stage, but I think in PCM this will go to the breakaway because opposing teams will look at me to control that breakaway. So instead, I might try to go in the breakaway with the likes of Perikas. Okay, the stage has begun. Perikas, Marti and Alvarez relatively to the front, so I think I might launch the first breakaway, not in this descent though. So let's wait until now and let's launch it. There go my 3 riders, and they're not exactly getting away, or are they? They are. More attacks are happening on the right side of the road. Is Ineos unhappy about it? It kind of looks like it. So they are chasing with Charlie Page. Gotta say, break formation is taking such a long time to conclude that my 3 riders in the break are perishing when it comes to their yellow bar. The start of the fast climb is here and riders are now dropping in the breakaway, including Alvarez, so that's not great. Marti can protect Perikas. So many riders dropping in this breakaway, down to 11 riders now. We are still here with Perikas, but Marti is on the brink of dropping. And well, just before the top, Perikas and the breakaway have been caught, so I'll try to attack one more time and try to make a second breakaway out of this breakaway. But actually, in the valley after the climb, the peloton is still pacing after my breakaway, so I might as well wait on the peloton at this point. The break is not winning today, so it's all gonna be for Mr. Ayuso in the peloton. The peloton is now on the third last climb on a steep section actually, and I'm trying to pace on 85 with Manier to make the race a little bit harder because I do want to attack with Ayuso, maybe on the final climb. There we go, Manier shredding it to the top on 95, and that's most likely gonna be his last pull of the day because his yellow bar is basically empty. Ola attacks on the second last climb by Remco Evenepoel, Jan Christen and so forth, so gotta try and hammer that tempo in the peloton behind now to catch them because I don't really feel like attacking towards that with Ayuso and Perikas yet because I have the whole team here to solve this problem. There we go, to the top of this second last climb, and Noval is doing a fantastic job together with Movistar, catching Remco Evenepoel and so forth, but he's going again now. Noval is done for, so Marti Po is gonna take over. Gotta say, our team is pretty cracked in this race. Marti diving downhill in the wheel of that 4-man group right now at the start of the final climb, the Puerto de Navacerrada. Romeo in the wheel, not 99 yet, so let's go 90 maybe with Marti. And is there another attack by Evenepoel? Not really, so I'm setting the tempo now. 3.4k to the top, more attacks right there, which is fine. I'll try to lure them back in with Romeo, and now Perikas can take over on 90 and actually make a move. Let's do that on... There we go, that's a small gap. Ayuso won't have much to actually go for the attack anymore though, but I'll try one more time to get to the wheel of Kristen, and that failed, so that's not great. Honestly, going over the top in this 20-man peloton right here, 7 seconds off the back of Jan Christen, so we should be able to catch them quite easily in the downhill. I guess we're gonna have to do it on the final climb to the finish, which is not that crazy of a climb. Jan Christen is back in the group and 4 riders for Ineos, so they're doing a pretty crazy ride so far. I've got Perikas recovering a bit, but also setting a tempo right now, and Ayuso ready to strike. I love how the other teams are setting up a versatile sprinter like Mulubran and Adrien Mayer, for example, instead of Eulalio, but I'm just going for Ayuso. I'm going to try and hard pace the last 4 kilometers to the finish line with Perikas and then maybe attack or maybe wait for the sprint. Is that a move on the right side of the road by Pellizzari? Not really. Lascano is in front of me, so what if I get to the wheel of Lascano? I cannot do that. That is a bit devastating. I will go towards 92 again on Perikas. That is too much. Let's do 89. I don't want to spend too much energy right now on Ayuso sitting in the wheel of Perikas, but we are going to switch right now towards... Ooh, that's a move. That is Adria going for something. Was that an attack? I don't even know, but it looks like they can get into the wheel of people. I can't. Now I can. So let's get to the wheel of Adria. The finish is coming as we speak, and I'm going to launch already right now because there's a small downhill to the finish. This might be a mistake, but I'm trying it anyway. I'm just not fast enough, I think. I think I'm simply not fast enough because Adrien Mayer is going to win the stage, or Adria on the right side of the road, but bonus seconds for Ayuso. That is nice. Getting 3rd place. Not too bad. That was a pretty stressful but really fun stage. And next to bonus seconds, also taking 11 seconds on the road to Remco Evenepoel, so he's not doing well. The gap is now 2:34 in GC. So far, this Vuelta feels like a walk in the park. Now, seeing stage 8, I was about to say it's time for Paul Manier to win the stage, but I think it will once again be Kubish. in the last 20k of the stage, topping the final climb, and the tempo in this peloton is so significant that Mani, Alvarez and Noval are basically all dropped before we get to the sprint in the first place. So my lead out is going to include Ayuso as my last man, which is kind of crazy. Come on boys, Kubish, get to the wheel of Ayuso. Ayuso in the wheel of Romeo. Last 2.7 kilometers we will launch with Ayuso. Not yet, not yet, not yet. Right now, Kubish in the wheel, looking pretty good actually in terms of position. I'll wait as long as possible. I'll launch right now. Come on, Kubish, try and come past Baroncini. Try and come past, and it's gonna be super close, but I think we might have it. Come on, Kubish. Yes, there we go. After weeks of the whole comment section yapping about how bad my sprints are, that is a perfect lead out and a perfect timing by Kubish. I reckon that's our 4th stage win at this Vuelta and the 2nd one for Kubish, so he's now on 3 Grand Tour stage wins in his career at our team, so pretty fantastic. Okie dokie, artichoke. Our next race is stage 9, and this one looks to be one of the queen stages in this race, so this is going to be a tough day in the saddle, especially because I think I will have to control the breakaway. But actually, Adria Pericas is 2nd favored, and technically he's on 4 minutes in GC, so I might send him in the breakaway. That way, if the break takes over the GC lead, it will be Pericas doing so. Ooh, starting off with a +2 on Ayuso today, so 82 medium mountain, 81 mountain, so that's fantastic. Pericas with a 0 day, so his own default stats. Kubish and Sofov already at the front to send Pericas into the breakaway, and I'll do so from the get-go. So let's attack with my 3 boys. Young Christian does not respond, so we're in the break. On the first climb of the day, the Puerto del Tremedal, 12 kilometers at 5%, and the breakaway is seemingly already formed. 24 riders and a 1 minute 30 gap on the peloton where there's no real tempo. In the last 1.5k to the top, and Pericas is already alone because Kubish and Alvarez are dropped, but we're still in a pretty fantastic situation. Let's try and follow these guys going for the KOM points to make sure we don't actually get dropped, and that is okay. The gap is a minute 30 from that break to Alvarez and Kubish in the downhill, so I don't really see these guys returning. Either way, in this break, there's a few riders on 5 minutes 33, but Pericas is on 4 minutes 04, so we are the best placed rider in this breakaway in GC. Actually, it looks like Kubish and Alvarez are returning to the breakaway, so that's 2 more domestiques for Pericas, so a perfect day for me so far. And important to share, there's still no tempo in the peloton. Bettiol's kind of chilling, so the gap is 4 minutes 10 now after 2 climbs. But actually, coming to the top of the 2nd climb, Kubish and Alvarez are dropped again, so we're back to square 0. I swear we've had so much climbing already in this stage, but now it's time for the 3rd categorized climb, the Puerto de Honduras, and this is one of the longer climbs on the day, but it should not be a problem for Pericas, you know? The break is quite literally sprinting the last 3.5k to the top of this climb, so I'm just doing my 90-89 tempo roughly behind and hoping that I catch up by the top. Over the top, and we just about caught back up to the breakaway, so 24 riders again. Time for the Puerto de Tornavacas. This is the 3rd last climb of the day, 13k at 5% and a gap of 6 minutes now to the peloton, so we are virtually in the red jersey with Pericas now, not Ayuso. This break really loves shredding it with like 2.5 kilometers to go on every climb, to the point that I'm always chasing towards the top, which I prefer not to do. Let's try and get ourselves in a decent position, but this right here is a sprint for KOM points, so let's just stick passively in the wheel here, and there we go, over the top. Just about 4 climbs done, 2 to go. And over that same mountain, the peloton's down to 37 riders only, so only Romeo and Marti left for Ayuso, which is not that much. Oh, the 2nd last climb is once again the Puerto del Tremedal, so the same climb as the 1st climb of the day. The tempo was already super hard from the foot, so gotta make sure I follow. Riders are slowly but surely starting to drop in this breakaway now, down to roughly 10-15 riders still following the front echelon of this break, and we're entering the last 3k to the top. And I actually do want to pace the last portion myself to diminish the amount of riders in this group as much as possible. Piganzoli is one of the better climbers in our wheel though, so he's definitely following. Mas and Prodom as well. Last K incoming, so I have to be ready to follow the attack for KOM points. Can I do that? Yes, I can. In the wheel of Piganzoli? Nope. Let's do the wheel of Mas instead, and we should be fine over the top of this climb. Nope, because Mas is done for, but we are in the breakaway, just off the back, but we'll get back right now. Perfect. Ooh, what is happening in the peloton? I've got a Yuzo isolated. That is not nice. All my domestiques are gone, and my best domestique is basically in the breakaway, so maybe not ideal, but a Yuzo's holding on for now. Oh, at the end of the downhill, Maz lost the wheel of Nerurkar, so we're now off the back of the breakaway by 20 seconds, which is definitely not ideal, but I'll try to force Maz to close the gap, and he's doing it for me, so that's nice. I can't believe a user will have to get his own water bottles with 25 kilometers to go in this stage. That is crazy, but the gap from this peloton to the breakaway, or whatever's left of the peloton, because it's like 18 riders, is now 4 minutes 30 to the breakaway. So I think the break's definitely winning, but Ayuso might keep red actually. This has been a pretty ridiculous stage. And the final climb is starting, and it's not an easy one. Let's take a look. 15k at 6%. We've got a teammate, is Piganzoli, riding for Zana. I think he might be actually. A Yuzo in the peloton. Oh, I'll have to focus on two groups, which I'm not exactly good at. Oh, that's an attack on the left side of the road. I'll try to follow the wheel of Broyar here because I don't really want to close down Piganzoli myself here. And it looks like Nerurkar is dropping Broyar, so not going fantastic so far. Meanwhile, the climb is also starting for the peloton, so a Yuzo can start on 85 to be honest. And what's happening with Perikas now? 1 minute to the front? What? Really? Like, I'll keep trying to follow these attacks by the other riders in this group, but a 1 minute gap is ridiculous. It is coming down to 40 seconds now, so Romo is doing some damage, but I don't really want to close the gap myself. In the last 5.5k now, and my yellow bar is not looking fantastic, and in the peloton, Pellizzari is... Ooh, yo, 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 yo. Oh, yo, 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 yo. This is bad. I got dropped. It said he was in F on the left top, so I thought, that's the peloton? No, that's not the peloton. That's being dropped. Come on, Ayuso, last 4.5 kilometers and the gap is 35 seconds that we literally gifted to this group, so that was really stupid. I'm gonna try and drop the riders in my wheel actually. It is Evenepoel in my wheel. Oh, yo, 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 yo. What is happening up here, by the way? Last 2 kilometers, I can't go 80. It's gonna be a victory for the man that attacked at the start of the climb, Piganzoli. I simply cannot catch him. And also, in the peloton behind, I am losing time, so a pretty disastrous stage. Perikas is gonna lose a sprint for second place, I think, to Frank van den Broek, or we're gonna surpass him. So, second place on the stage, and Ayuso is finishing... where's Max Poole? Castrillo, Max Poole was... Wait a second, are we with Max Poole? Where's Max Poole? Did we drop him? I don't know where Max Poole is. Yes, we dropped him! So it actually wasn't that bad. Astana basically outplayed me because I was expecting Zana to be their leader after Piganzoli was doing the tempo at the start of the climb, but then Piganzoli attacked and took 1 minute. Now stage win to the side, if we take a look at Ayuso, then we lose about 30 seconds to Pellizzari, which is not great, but we do take time on basically everybody else. Which means that after 9 stages, Juan Ayuso is leading La Vuelta by 49 seconds on Castrillo, which I don't really consider as competition, Rodriguez on 53 seconds, Pellizzari on a minute 11. I'm sorry, but this is looking fantastic. If I don't lose control over a dangerous breakaway, I should be able to win this race quite easily. And I forgot to mention, because of the breakaway, Perikas moves up into 8th position in GC on 325, so that's a perfect outcome. But of course, there's still plenty of crazy stages in this Vuelta to shake things up, including the Torre de Urkulu, which is a crazy stage by the way, and a 23km flat time trial. But of course, all of that is gonna be for our next and final episode of this career mode. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.